All right, well, Mayor Bob, welcome back to Mayor's Monday. The last time we get to do this little get together for 2018, as we kind of get ready to put what's been at times eventful, at times stressful, I'm sure for you as well, but a year where we saw a lot of stuff moving forward for better or worse in the city, right?
You know, and I know it's always easy for some to dwell on the negative. By nature, I'm always a very optimistic, positive person. In a leadership role like this, you have to be, but I genuinely am. And I'm sure we'll talk about it here in the interview, but there really are a lot of good, positive things happening in Wausau. 2018 is going to be turning out another good year as far as economic development. Not quite like it was in the record year we had last year, but awfully close. Again, there's a lot of good things happening, and I think most people realize that. But there's some things that didn't work out like they should have. And you know what? That's life. Not everything works out the way you want it to. You could be all set to go, the best made plans, everything's ready, all your ducks in a row, and it can still turn apart on you. That doesn't mean you give up and throw it away. You pick yourself back up, try to get things back online, and that's what's going to be happening here in 18.
Yeah,
or 19,
as we look forward to 2019, of course.
It's hard to believe this year has gone by so fast.
It really has at times, and like we said, we mentioned a few things that didn't work out in 2018, but things are looking up for some of those projects. I mean, especially the River Life Development.
Exactly, that's a perfect example.
We've got a couple of Wisconsin companies that are coming in and looking at that. Obviously, you haven't awarded a bid for it yet, but things are still kind of in motion behind the scenes.
They're still in motion, if everything goes right, if not here and later on in December, certainly by January we'll have things online. One with the new developers agreement with the individual that had been chosen, but even on the local side, there's things that could be happening with those folks further down the road too, going into 2019. Again, just a lot of that good positive news and information that, the thing is we're still always talking. Okay, it may not be this project, but it might be something else. But until everything is finalized, frankly, you can't talk about it like you like to. I learned my lesson with that, with the movie theater, because it was an exciting thing, and there's still interest in that happening too. But you got to be careful with what you say, because if it does not work out and fall apart, then you got egg on your face, and then you got the experts out there saying, "See, I told you so," and we're not going to let that happen again.
Absolutely, and that's just one project, but there was a lot of other ones in 2018 that the city can be proud of, whether it's the Great Lakes Cheese Plant, which is probably at this time nearly ready to go.
Almost complete. If everything by early spring, late winter, early spring, it will be up and running.
And that's going to be a bunch of jobs in the area. We have a healthcare company that's adding over 100 jobs to help work with VA officials or VA claims in the town. We've got the Aspirus YMCA project. That's we can just about see it from your office.
See, you're telling me, you're telling what I can't say. So, I can say, but I mean,
right.
You're telling people, okay, and yeah, a lot of these things are good happenings. This is a good news compared to a few years ago because of some of the things that happen around here at City Hall, and it helps that the economy is good and going strong. But we do have companies that are really interested in the Wausau area, just like every other community. There is that worker, okay, we got to find the right people, that talent shortage, if you want to call it that. But by and large, compared to a few years ago, we do have a lot of interest in Wausau and our region, which is good for everybody around here. And we're more than welcoming. Come on up. There's always talks and that type of thing. Sometimes, and I like to get things done, so to speak, because it's good for our city. And sometimes things do take a little bit longer because a lot of these economic development issues, which I love, they're also very complex. And everybody's got to feel like they've got a fair share, if you want to call it that, including the city of Wausau. But again, compared to a few years ago, now we're at least talking, and we've got that interest from the outside. Going into 19, going into 2020, if everything goes right, there's a lot of positive things coming our way.
And talk about one of those projects. You said these things take time. How about trying three different locations, like with Home Furniture, which of course they've officially announced it now that they're going to be taking over the Yonkers space. sometime by the spring of 2019.
Right, they're starting construction over there right now as far as what they got to do to revamp and get their area going.
Yes, and that's another great deal for the city too, because again, I guess you could almost say like Micon, there's been a couple different options there that haven't worked out, and now we finally got something going.
Something's going. In talking with the owners of the mall, and again, I've said this on this show and other media outlets, a lot of people think that we own the mall, and we do not. We do have a hand in it, if you will, because we own the land underneath and the parking structures, and now we own Sears, which actually gives us more of a say as far as what's happening. Now, I have directed to the current mall owners, if you're not going to invest in the future of our city, I did this about a month or so ago, if you're not going to invest in the future of our city, sell it to somebody who will. And that's kind of putting their and holding their feet to the fire, if you will, that, just to let it die, that's not right either. As far as economic development, I'm always willing to hear things, but it's a different world as far as that retail setting. The good news is, and Ham hasn't asked for anything from the city. It's really a good thing as far as, okay, we're going to utilize an old space that's been empty, and it's to repurpose part of the mall, and let's see what happens in that retail setting. But as I've said before numerous times, it's a very viable building. Will it ever be the full retail setting that it once used to be? No, those days are gone. But it could be used and utilized for other things, as far as like a corporate type of structure or a training type of structure, which we are in talks with. And we'll see what happens with the mall owners. But we'll make things go forward. But these things take time. And it's like earlier this year when we had the consultants from Detroit in, their purpose, they revitalize malls as far as housing and stuff like that, which a lot of us, with the presentations that were made to the city council back in the springtime and then in the fall, it was very cool and exciting. But you know what? It can't be all on the city either. There's got to be some private interest as well. And there has been talks. We'll see what happens and where that goes. It's very preliminary right now. It's very early. But again, we're always trying to get that conversation going as far as outside interest.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And one of the other really nice things about having home furniture coming into that space, and I believe Chris Jock had told me this about a week or two ago, they actually source a lot of the products that they sell in their stores from right here in the Marathon County area. So when people go to home furniture in the mall, in a way, they might actually kind of be supporting the economy not only in Wausau, but across the area.
Locally. And we always try to encourage that too. It's like with the developers, local fellas. Okay, this project did not work out for you through the vetting process, whatever. But that doesn't mean that we can't do something further down the road on the riverfront or wherever that part would be. So there's a little bit of a buzz, a little bit of excitement about that, while nothing's set in stone right now, that in the future, yeah, the talks are all there, and try to reach out and work with one another, and we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Of course, this is the holiday season, the Christmas season, and it's
and I got the Santa Claus look going both ways, so
I wasn't going to ask where you were going to play Santa Claus there, but
but once a year, pretty sad if you want to call it. I like to try something different.
Mm-hmm.
This I can afford, so to speak, and okay, I might look a little scruffy. It'll be gone by January, but in all seriousness, it is a Christmas season, or Kwanzaa, or Hanukkah, or whatever way you celebrate it. I think it's that time of the year where we realize, there's a lot of things that we need to be, like I said last month for Thanksgiving, there's a lot of good things happening to be thankful and blessed for. Yeah, again, like every other city, we've got our issues. There's things going on that don't go according to plan, or problems that need to be faced and addressed. And if they were all easy, that would have been solved by now. But again, too, and by nature, in my position, I am optimistic and positive. I'm that way personally, but you have to be that way in a leadership role, because it's easy to be negative. And yes, I work with that more frequently than I'd like to. And there's just some people I wish I could find the happiness and the joy, because there's a lot of that good things going on. So too, everybody out there, I wish all of you and your families a very Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever way you celebrate. And just kind of reflect that, you know what, there are a lot of good positive things happening, and you've got to hold on to that. and not let the negativity creep in, because when it does, you know, that's not good for anybody either. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I truly love what I do. I feel very honored and blessed to be here. Obviously, I'm very biased when I say I think it's the greatest city in the world. I'm not wild about winter all the time, but that's another story. But in all seriousness, you know, this time of year, I think you just kind of sit back a little bit, enjoy the time with your family and friends, and reflect, number one, over the year that has been, and to look forward to the year that is coming. Because there's a lot of good, positive things happening, folks. You got to believe that and hold on to that faith.
And we'll look forward to talking about those good, positive things as they happen as well here on this show, and you know throughout 2019 as well. Mayor Bob, we appreciate the time. We always appreciate the honesty. We thank you for your service as well, and again, look forward to what's to come in 2019 for Wausau.
Thank you, Michael. Merry Christmas and take care. God bless everyone.